Welcome to a podcast that all of a sudden has just got a little bit too big for its boots. This is A View from the Bridge. This is A View from the Bridge, unofficial podcast of the Belfast Giants for kingdomofthegiants.com in association with the guys at giantslive.tv. Well, my name's Patrick Smyth and it's the 16th of March 2013 and, well, what can I say has happened? It's actually happened. A lot has happened since 1956. There's been 7 different popes, there have been 11 prime ministers, there have been 3 Giants championships, there have been over 7,000 episodes of Coronation Street, there have been 49 deaths in EastEnders, but at long last the Nottingham Panthers have won the league. I have to have just a quick moment. I really want to say congratulations. No, okay, congratulations. That's all you're getting. On this very special episode of A View from the Bridge, we'll be chatting to a lot of the people in the Odyssey. We're talking to the guys from the Cats Whiskers. We'll be talking to a lot of the fans, a couple of the players, and basically just giving an insight to what's going on in the Odyssey over this weekend. But we start with this. Well, doing a video-based podcast is actually quite unique to the Elite League. It's never been done before, and we're really proud here in A View from the Bridge to be part of it. To try to encourage that across the Elite League, we've invited 3 very random Nottingham Panthers fans. We've got Paul Baum, Johnny Bullard and Aaron Lord. Gentlemen, how are you?
You're all right, mate.
Yeah, good. Have you ever thought about doing anything like this before?
No, it's unique, you know. We've talked about podcasts and obviously blogs and that sort of thing, but this sort of thing, well, is well beyond us, I must say.
Of course, these guys are the members of the Cats Whiskers TV, which, if you go to YouTube or go to the Cage, across UK hockey is a fantastic programme. Guys, coming here, right? It must be uncharted territory. You're close to winning the league. It's 3-3 currently. How are you dealing with this?
Not very well, to be honest. The ticker's going a bit fast. The hands are shaking. It's a big 20 minutes. So,
what's been the difference for the Panthers this season, Jono? It's been, year on year you've been there or thereabouts, but usually you've fallen away about Christmas time, and it's been a source of quite a bit of ridicule for everybody. What's been different that this Panthers team would be able to go all the way?
Simply consistency. Been very, very consistent all through the season. I think we've lost 1 game in the last 19 or something ridiculous so far, and that's simply it. And we've not lost 2 league games on the trot all season. So that has it's just been consistent.
Paul, has Corey Nielsen stepped behind the bench this season? Has that had anything to do with it? Because we all know that Corey Nielsen loves to play around 59 minutes and 59 seconds a game.
He'd play 69 if he could. I think it has. I mean, what's happened is that, he's had to look to the rest of the team to take roles and responsibilities that he was taking on himself. So, it's been shared out, people aren't getting as tired. So I think, and he's showing so far a bit of coaching now, so that, at times we didn't really know he got in him.
Jono, Cats Whiskers TV's been a big success. Who's going to claim that it was their idea?
It was. No, I'm not. No,
I'm asking him to see who's going to claim it was their idea.
It was our idea.
It was mine.
It was our idea. One drunken night out on a Friday night in the summer, and we was talking about doing a podcast, and then it sort of got a bit bigger and said, why don't we do a TV show? And 6 weeks later, we had the first one out.
I think you've made the right idea. Podcasts are never successful. What's the response been like on YouTube?
yeah, it's been good so far. I mean, we like to think that we've got a good core of fans, but obviously people from other clubs are watching it as well. And we try and do, bits on the show to get other fans involved as well. We are mainly Panthers based, but we like to involve as many people as we can. But it seems, we're getting a good reaction. So yeah.
Some of your guests have been rubbish. I speak from personal opinion. Well, you've had Gary Moran on the show. It's a real big coup. The Panthers seem to be really buying into it.
They do. I mean, I think this year, anyway, they've suddenly discovered that social media exists, and and things like us. I mean, we were amazed when he accepted the offer to come in, but we think things like that can only do the team good. because showing they're getting involved with the fans, and it's all for the good and good for us.
Coming back to the game, we're at the end of the second period on the Friday, and it's currently 3-3. And I'm going to put you on the spot. Is tonight the night?
Yes. I hope so.
I'm not confident.
The Cat's Whiskers is available on the Cat's Whiskers fanzine and across YouTube, and these guys do a fantastic job. Thanks for joining us. The thing about having a video podcast is that when it actually comes down to it, you get to see people's faces. Now, you've seen mine, and for a change, like I said, I'm wearing clothes. Somebody who doesn't wear clothes a lot is Gary Jackson. Gary?
How are you, Patrick? How are you?
Very well, mate. Gary, the Giants this season, it's 3-3 in this game, as we were talking to the TCW guys earlier. It's 3-3 in this game, and the Giants this season are really struggling when it comes to closing out.
Well, mate, I've only been to a few games, not very many this season, but the games we've won, we've either won them very well, or we've struggled and we've lost. So it's really, really tight. I can't explain it any more than that.
You and me have come to quite heated discussions when it comes to the new structure of the league, and you're a big fan of it.
Oh yeah, here we go. Conferences a waste of time. Edinburgh, Dundee and Fife are exactly where they should be, at the bottom of the league. The conferences have made no difference whatsoever.
So your point is that I was absolutely wrong?
Absolutely wrong, yeah.
Well, it seems that the Gardner Conference this season has really come right down to the wire. Is that a sign that the actual league is getting stronger?
I don't think so, no. I think it's a sign that they're playing each other more. So the weaker teams are playing each other more. Whereas the likes of Brayhead, who were expected to win the league this year because of they were in the weaker conference, they've really struggled, and it's because they're playing the weaker teams week in, week out, and so therefore their players, they're better players, are taking it easy.
We're about to start the third period. Do you think the Giants have anything tonight? It's a Friday night game. We're 3-3 with 1 period left to play.
I think we're going to win this game, yeah.
I think that we're going to force the Panthers out over the whole weekend?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I think it's going to come down to next weekend. Unfortunately, I don't think Cardiff, A, have enough, and B, want to beat the Panthers for us to win the league.
Thanks, mate.
No problem.
Joined by General Manager Todd Kelman, no stranger to the podcast. Todd, well, busy man, you got your own microphone. We've got a hell of a lot of Panthers fans over this weekend.
Yes.
Maybe not the outcome we wanted from the weekend, but it's been a good weekend nonetheless, financially speaking.
Well, I mean, not so much about that. Like you wanted the title. With what we did last weekend in Edinburgh, we screwed up, and we made, we devalued these games, I guess, for what could have been. Because obviously, if we'd won these both and won in Edinburgh, it would have been a different story. I'm a realist. The Panthers had 4 games left. They were going to win one of them, and they were going to win the title. I was not under no illusion that they would lose 4 games. And you can say it's a lack of confidence, but no, it's reality. The Panthers haven't lost 4 games all year in a row, so they weren't going to lose it now. But it's good that we had so many fans over, and our fans have been fantastic all weekend long. They were great last night. They were great again to turn out in droves tonight. We actually have a bigger crowd tonight than we did last night. So obviously a great weekend for financial, but it's not all about that. Like, obviously we're disappointed we didn't win the league, but you can't win every year, and I think with the season we've had, I think we're all pretty happy right now.
What's the difference to this Panthers team, the Panthers team that have gone before? Because they seem to be very strong defensively. That's something that you've maybe never seen in a Panthers team before.
I think, honestly, the biggest things I noticed from a hockey standpoint, I think Kowalski's having a great year. He would be my choice for Player of the Year. He's had a great career while he's been in the Elite League, but this year in particular, he has carried them, and I think Kowalski's been a huge difference. I think David Ling has been a huge difference as well. They've got that dominant player that I think he's the best player in the league, like as far as an out player. So, and we've had seasons where I think we've had the best goalie and the best forward in the league. This year, I think Kowalski's, he's deserved. He'll win goalie of the year. He might win player of the year, and I think he'll be fighting it out with Ling for player of the year. So.
There must be still a determination down there in the locker room, because there's still another trophy to get. Yeah. And for them to pick up the trophy on our rink, it'd be nice to go to theirs and pick up another.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the last couple of years we've been fighting for the title right to the bitter end, and it almost wears you out. It's draining on you mentally and physically. And we got a couple of weeks now to recoup. We don't have another. We've been the Challenge Cup final the last couple of years. It takes a lot out of you. It's always jammed at the end of the season. Now Sheffield and Nottingham are in that position, so we can kick back and sort of wait for the playoffs. And I think that's a good thing for us. I think this team has a shot at the playoffs.
it's anyone's game in the playoffs. It's 4 games. You never know what could happen, but it's a great title to win. It's a lot of fun to win. So
I think the positive draw is that the Giants are always thereabouts every year, and will be thereabouts coming another year.
Yeah, I remember, you know, when I was playing the first few years in the Elite League, we never felt like we were going to get there. It was always, you knew it was going to be Cardiff, Sheffield, Coventry, and Nottingham, and that was kind of standard. And now we're one of the teams that are making to Nottingham every year, and we want to be in the big dance at the end of the season. We want to get to that final game and see what happens, and it wouldn't surprise me if we ended up playing the Panthers in the final game.
You join us now in the first period break on Saturday's game, and I'm joined by Owen Bradley of BBC Radio Nottingham. Owen, you became the first man in 57 years to be able to call a Panthers League Championship. It's really gutting for me to ask this question, but that must have been fun.
Yeah, it was crazy. I have to say, I've been thinking about it for a couple of weeks, about, you know, what you say, what words are you going to use. But when it happened, I mean, the Gallivan goal was a bit more out of nowhere, but the Francis one, he took so long to get the shot away. I've heard it back, and it did sound like I was losing it. Incredible. Just an incredible night. Caps off an incredible season for Nottingham.
What do you think it's been about this Nottingham team that has set them apart from the rest of the league? Because this is like no Nottingham team I've ever seen. You look at how strong they are from the back to the forwards. It's fantastic to watch.
We've said it there. I mean, I think on the night, you know, you saw the first 2 periods of Friday's game. Incredible hockey, fantastic standard. I mean, the Giants were awesome as well. And there have been games against Sheffield this season and after Christmas as well where they've been very close, but it's been Nottingham's ability that they've not had in the past to do it, you know, on a Sunday night in Hull or up in Scotland where their record's been fantastic. And then if you're doing that and then you're edging the series against Belfast, against Sheffield, that's where the difference is. And I think, you know, Corey Nielsen, I deal with him a lot more regularly than a lot of people, and he has a reputation that is not really fair to him. He's a very private guy, and I think people form an image of Corey. What Corey does that people don't realise is he listens and he learns, and he's a hockey geek. And I think he's learned so much over the last few years. Rick Strachan has helped that a lot as well. And this is a team, this is a style that has evolved over the last few years. I think you can see that. And then the changes they make, like bringing Jordan Fox to the blue line where he's been fantastic, that move was massive. You look at the Jonathan Weaver decision at the start of the season, that's been huge for this team as well. So it's a few things that have come together, but it's been their ability to play night in, night out, and the roster is just so deep as well.
You had the ability this weekend with BBC Radio Nottingham to call the game, but it's not something you've had throughout the season. You were quite vocal on Twitter about not being given the opportunity to go to other rinks and other places to call the game. Is that something you feel that this game, this sport, and the way that the attitudes are, is going to stagnate the game?
Well, look, it frustrates me for a lot of reasons. You know, I don't get paid an awful lot to cover the Panthers. I do it for the passion. As much as anything, as my predecessor Chris Ellis, who's now the Elite League media officer, that's exactly what Chris did as well. And you often find that it's the people like me, like Chris, like you, who do things like this mostly off their own bat. And you know, I don't get to commentate throughout the season for BBC Radio Nottingham. The money's not there in the BBC budget. It frustrates me that when the money is there and somebody makes the decision that they are going to put the effort in and cover the games, that then certain clubs say to us no, and certain clubs don't even tell us why. They just say no. And I mean, it's obvious why, but you know, I think Belfast may have been the first team to do a webcast, right? And we've never had a problem with Belfast. Todd has always been a pleasure to deal with, and I think he's a guy that gets the bigger picture thing. And the way I would sum it up is, you know, nobody stumbles across an £8 webcast that they've paid for, but some people listen to it, flick through the radio, hear a radio commentary. I mean, ice hockey on the radio is fantastic to listen to. I don't know what last night was like, but it would be wrong of me to say, but you know, it's absorbing to listen to when it's done well, and that's how you pick up new fans. And for a sport that wants to grow, turning down media coverage is silly.
But I take that into account, but also working as you do for Nottingham Panthers and calling the game. So you're new, you're young, you're fresh, as Gary Moran called you in his interview with the Cats Whiskers. The Nottingham Panthers have been quite vocal themselves about how they don't want to put themselves in a position where they're losing tickets based on media coverage. So can you understand where Nottingham come but not where others come? Or?
Yeah, but the difference is, I mean, what I do in Nottingham is purely voluntary to keep my hand in. Into, you know, I don't work for the Panthers in any regard, but the difference is with Gary that we don't do commentary on every game. We don't do commentary on most games. We do updates from most Saturday night games. Something that one club that we asked weren't even prepared to let us do. They said a flat out no, you are not allowed to do any coverage from inside the arena. But then on the big games, for example, if it hadn't have been settled this weekend, on Friday night we would have been commentating on the Cardiff game. And you know, we'd have gone to Cardiff and we're going to do the Challenge Cup final second leg and we're going to be at the playoff finals. And so it's slightly different there. It just strikes me that they want the money in their pocket right now, and they're not interested about the pocket of the sport and growing the sport, and that's the impression that I have had from it.
Well, there's 2 more trophies to win, and the Nottingham Panthers are in both of them. What do you think they can do? You finish this season with a flurry?
There's a real chance they could win all 3. There is a real chance. They're an excellent side. I think Belfast are going to come on very strong in the playoffs. I think this is an excellent Belfast team. But again, Nottingham know how to win the playoffs. Challenge Cup final is interesting because I think Sheffield have tried a few things against Nottingham and they've not all worked. The most recent game between the 2 teams was very strange in terms of the way that Sheffield approached it. I wonder whether there might be a hangover from this weekend going into the first leg and how much that will affect the overall result of the tie. But there's every chance Nottingham could win all 3. There really is.
I hope not. But
I know.
Thanks very much, Fred.
Pleasure.
You might know the names, you might know the voices, but you're going to get to see the faces of Davy McGimpsey and Neil the Coach Russell. Guys, we're in the second period break on the Saturday here. The Panthers are now the champions. Do they deserve it?
Yeah, they do. They have been the best team all season. They're the best side without a shadow of a doubt. They've put together a fantastic team. Some of their players, Werner, Lepine, David Ling, been absolutely superb for them all season. They stood out last night in the game, and yeah, for me, the Thurley deserve their championship.
Your voice is gone?
Completely gone from last night, completely gone.
Davy, you didn't even get to see the last goal last night. It's gutting to watch.
It was very hard to watch, so I left whenever the writing was on the wall. I think Coach, everybody that knows me knows I'm a very good sport when it comes. I'd be magnanimous in defeat, and obviously like to offer my congratulations, especially to Neil Black. He's obviously sat down, he's done his sums, and he's worked out that the more teams in the league he owns, the better the statistical chance of actually winning the trophy. So congratulations to him on that.
It is very well worked out. But the Panthers now, they've got a strong side. They come here, we are 2-1 up. It is Saturday, it's the second period break, as I said. Talked to Owen Bradley earlier on. He was saying he thinks the Panthers could go all the way and take a slam. Is that possible for them?
Absolutely. For me, they're the best team on paper from the start of the season right through to now. I don't see any team matching them at all on the ice. Like last night, they completely dominated us from the first period right through to the final period. Completely outplayed us, and that's something that we're going to have to look at for moving forward to next season. But I could definitely see them going on and beating Sheffield in the Challenge Cup and on into April and into the playoffs.
You look at last night's game, Davy, it was a 4-3 win for the Panthers, as we know, but the Giants came out really, really strong initially, but the physicality sort of disappeared. Do you think, what is that the difference? Was it the fact that we didn't play a physical enough game?
I think the first period was very good in that we engaged the crowd. The crowd was pumping, with over 5,000 people here last night behind the team. But it slackened off in the second period. We didn't come out and play the same sort of physical game in the second period. The crowd sort of disengaged, and then once the Panthers got in front, just don't think we had the team strong enough. As coaches already said, in every department they're just that bit stronger and faster than us, and it is something that we're going to have to retool for the playoffs.
But surely we can't capitulate. Surely there's still another trophy that the Giants could go for. How do you beat this Panthers team?
I think that the Panthers are beatable on a one-off game, which gives me hope for the playoffs. I think over 2 legs, Sheffield have a sniff against them in the Challenge Cup, but I think over on a one game, if we get them on Sunday the 7th of April, we have a chance of getting silverware this season.
Just you were touching there on the physicality side of things. You know, I was really hoping on the back of last night in our arena, the Nottingham Panthers coming in here, winning the league for the second time, first time in 57 years, whatever it is. I was hoping tonight that they would be coming out and absolutely nailing everything that moved, playing with real intensity. But for me, tonight we're kind of playing along with the way they're playing, hangover hockey, and that's disappointed me in tonight's game.
So coach, is that the coach?
No, I would imagine that the coach is down in the locker room saying to them, I want intensity, I want us playing a sharp physical game, etc. But it comes down to the players, and you know yourself, we've all played some form of sport.
and it's down to your own attitude at the end of the day. And for me, the players haven't really come out tonight and nailed everything that we were kind of expecting them to on the back of Nottingham winning last night.
Last few home games of the season, Davy, how do you rank this Giants team and the whole pantheon of the Giants teams that have gone before it?
At the end of the day, we've had the discussions over the last few weeks, especially in the Kingdom of Giants, perhaps that in terms of budgetary spend, we're perhaps as low as 4th in the league, and we could be saying that we're punching above our weight here, that we've actually finished 2nd in the standings. I think there's still opportunity for us to finish this season on a high, and I hope that come Nottingham and the playoff finals, it's something we can do and that we're all happy at the end of the season.
Well guys, thanks for joining us. There's very few acceptors, very few at the end of the days, and very few, what was it? You know. We'll go back and we'll enjoy this final period. Thanks for joining us. Joining us at View from the Bridge is UTV and GiantsLive.tv's Gary Gillespie. Gary, before we come on to the game, before we come on to this weekend, you've worked a long time with the Giants and worked a long time with UTV and trying to get hockey high up the level. But football's always going to be dominant when it comes to media coverage. It seems to be individuals within media are pushing the envelope for hockey. Is it difficult?
It wasn't difficult in the beginning because it was new and it was exciting. It was different then, and of course the crowds helped because they had huge crowds here in the Odyssey, which tended to dwindle away after the first few years. But there's always been a great level of support for hockey here. But getting it onto the television screens, yeah, it was difficult for a while, and it does very much depend on who's in charge at a particular time. And if you do have a football fan who's running a programme, then hockey tends to get squeezed out in favour of soccer.
Is there anything to do with like the cooperation of the team? The team seem to be very media savvy when it comes to trying to push themselves and trying to get that higher profile.
They always have been, right from day one. They've looked at PR very, very carefully, and they know the value of publicity. And I have never known the Giants turn down any request for an interview or a facility to come and film them, or a request to do something different. We used to go to players' houses and film little background stories with wives and kids and that sort of thing, and that was always very popular too. But yeah, the Giants are very media savvy.
So it doesn't stand with the fact that it doesn't matter the popularity, because we've seen 5,000 people 2 nights in a row in this. It's all down to the agenda within media. There's nothing that the Giants can do themselves to try to push it anymore.
Well, I think in fairness, in the last year or two, certainly UTV have been showing a great interest in hockey,
yes,
and in particular on the website,
yes,
where every goal is shown after the games, and they do a great job on that. Interviews after the games are shown, maybe less so on the main screen television programmes, but they are aware of it. And the great thing is, of course, it's available. It's free of charge. You don't have a rights problem the way you do with soccer, with rugby, with GAA, and anything that doesn't cost nowadays is popular.
Right. You've also, of course, the last couple of seasons been involved with the webcast, and that's been fantastically successful, and something that across the league everybody's been getting involved in and watching, and of course other teams are taking that on. It's something you've enjoyed doing? Very
much so. I got involved in because I come to every game anyway as a fan. When Nigel Ringland wasn't available to do some commentaries, I sat in for a few games with Wayne, and eventually began to do it on a regular basis. And it is something I enjoy. I'm the sort of stato, I'm the stats man who looks up all the players' birthdays to see whether they're celebrating one that particular night, and how many goals they've scored, how many assists, how many minutes in the penalty box, that sort of thing. And Wayne does the play-by-play, and of course he's steeped in hockey and has been since he was a little kid. I'm not. I'll never pretend to be a hockey expert, but I know what I enjoy, and I certainly enjoy watching the Giants. There's been
quite a bit of lampooning as well with regards to some of the guys looking at the commentary, and you seem to enjoy it yourself, always going on about Mr. Angry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of set plays of our own, and of course correcting mispronounced names is also one of the things that we have to do from time to time. Yeah, we're not perfect, but we do try, and we do enjoy the game.
So what about this weekend then? You like myself, you've been following the Giants all the way through, and we've seen many great teams here. We've also seen some Nottingham teams come in and go and fall away by the wayside. This Nottingham team were something else, and they deserved the championship.
Well, I was absolutely amazed when I started to do my research for last night's game and discovered that the Nottingham Panthers had never won the league. I mean, they'd never ever won it since they were reformed in 1980.
Yes.
And I mean, on that basis alone, they deserve one. I mean, we came in 10, 11 years ago, and we've won the league, we've won the playoffs, the Challenge Cup, and maybe it just was somebody else's turn. But you have to hand it to the Panthers. They had a great side this year, and goals coming from players like David Ling, and I mean, he's just a goal machine. And yeah, I mean, Bruce Graham too, of course, who scored even more. Yeah, maybe they did overall, they deserved it, but it nevertheless was a big disappointment last night.
One more game to call, the playoff quarter-final here. How do you think the Giants will get on in that?
Well, I've just been talking to Doug Christiansen about that very thing, and I said to him, can you use the pain to boost the guys, get them fired up for the playoff games? And he said, absolutely yes. And he said, well, that's one thing we want to do. And I think they will. They'll come out all guns blazing, and we don't know who they're going to play yet. When we find that out, well, we'll have a better idea of what's in store. But I have every confidence that we'll see the real Giants, injuries permitting, of course, because that has been the bane of the Giants' lives this season. But injuries permitting, then I think we'll see the real Giants in the playoffs.
Thanks, man.
No problem. Thank you.
Coach, a win tonight, but the damage was done last night. Nottingham Panthers champions, it's got to be tough to take.
No doubt about it. The damage probably wasn't done last night, if we're being honest. The damage is done in January. It was done on Sunday against Edinburgh. When we fell 6 points behind, we had a lot of work to do. And last night was a great game of hockey. Two teams went back and forth at one another. It was physical, it was fast. And you know what, when you play against a good team, you know, both Corey and I walked in last night knowing one of us was going to win, one was going to lose, and we obviously came out on the short end of that. But the part that's very disappointing for me is the fact that those games in January we didn't play very well are the ones that made this weekend more about Nottingham winning the title than us fighting for it.
Statistically, between us and the Panthers, there wasn't a great difference. It is those crossover games. We spoke in Hull about how, you know, those crossover games are vital, and that seems to have been the undoing.
100%. My first year, we were 21-1-2 in games against, you know, the four teams that were at the lower end of the standings. Last year we were 24-0, and this year we're 16-4. Yeah. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that my first year we lost the league by 1 point. Last year we win the league, and this year we obviously don't win the league. And that's the part. It's those games against those cross-conference teams, because you look at the Erhard Conference, we are exactly where we needed to be. We've done the business on that, and so it's the nights where we didn't compete to the best of our ability that cost us a title.
Looking forward, you know, we've still got the incentive of the playoff championship. We've still got that second seed to take if we win the conference. The Panthers have come into our barn and they've lifted a championship. We can go to theirs and lift one.
100%. I'll tell you one thing that we talked about last night, we talked about today, and you saw a little bit of the vinegar in the blood right now, is our guys have to respond. I think that there's a lot of things that we're very, very proud of this year, but we're very disappointed we don't have a trophy right now, and we're out of the Challenge Cup. So all of our focus, all of our attention is on winning that playoff title, and I'll tell you, to win it would be fantastic because, again, this team has gone through a lot, and for them to be able to come together for this last 3 weeks and to win a championship would be a true validation of their character and the decisions and the things that they've done this year.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And that's it. It's been very fun to do this. We have to give a big thanks to the guys from giantslive.tv for facilitating the whole thing. We'll be back with the podcast again next week, where I don't have to wear clothes and you don't have to see my face. You can find us at kingdomofthegiants.com, and wherever you are this weekend, we hope you enjoy your hockey. We'll see you here next time on A View from the Bridge.